don't get the simplicity of the simplicity of the discipline. That having a little bit of discipline is not so it's not so difficult, or it's not, or it's like tremendously difficult to have a little bit of discipline.
Yeah, but you know what the reality is? I don't know you, but I'm sure there've been moments in your life where you discipline yourself. When you do, you never think it was a big deal. On those rare occasions.
But they fall away. They fall away. The discipline
After.
never lasts.
No. When you discipline yourself, you actually realize that it's not difficult. But the Gemara says that when you give into the Yetzer Hara, it's like a mountain. When you don't use Hara, it's like the string of a spider. It's garnished. It's such a truism. I can't speak. I can speak for myself. I know it in my own life. When I give into the Yetzer Hara, I tell myself legitimately, there's no way I could have defeated them. But when I don't, no big deal. But they're the Maisa. And it's true in every circumstance of the Kabbalah sale. It's true in every case.
So then you tell yourself it's just a ceasefire.
Huh?
It's just a ceasefire. It's going to push off the...
It's only a ceasefire if you don't... You also saw those.
Another video.
But at least I wasn't screaming
That
at you.
messed up my night the night
The
before.
definition of ceasefire is starting the next war. It's so upsetting. I don't understand.
The discipline just pushes off the battle.
No, it doesn't. It establishes a new normal.
Well, you're not you're obviously always having a...
Kabbalah sale is about one step at a time. A new normal. I do this. I do that. I need some food. Save me. I have to eat something. If I drink and I don't eat some chips. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of them, but I eat some chips. They're throwing everything in the garbage. You have to eat something before they throw it. It's true. It's true. I right now, my current situation is, if I don't start exercising, I'm going to get old.
Oh wait, what
I've known this.
do you do? I need to know.
10 minutes on a bicycle. 10 and a half minutes. It's another cookies. This is.
I thought your walk is your exercise from Sperling.
Yeah, but I don't.
You want salad?
I don't. No, it's okay.
You want ketchup?
I don't care. This is fine. I don't.
Oh, you're not-
I don't walk. I take a cab. I'm so busy. Take a cab. And my excuse is how much zeit.
Do you get your heart rate up?
So what else? I did it twice. So call me tomorrow. You have my number. You have my number.
Started?
I started because I found this kid who's a former student of mine who says, I haven't put on film until 2013. So I told him, you'll wear film once, I'll do exercise 5 times. He said, nope. I said, listen, I'm going to do the exercise anyway, I'll worry about the film later. So I got a little bit of a motivation. So if I do it tomorrow, I'm good. Don't do it tomorrow, I'm back in the sewer. So I find out tomorrow if I exercise. 11 minutes, what's the big deal? It's not a big deal. And it's so important. And it's so good. And I know it's right. What's the big deal?
And then it's to build it up. 11 to
Yeah, versteht. I understand that. Of course I understand that.
You cap it at 20.
You have to the point is, it's a gute Sache und so gut für dir, was tust das nicht? It's a good thing, it's good for you, why don't you do it? What's the answer? Stuss.
Especially on a bicycle, on a bicycle you can listen to Rabbi Paltiel.
No, it's not true. I'm telling you, you know what the Matthias is? I'll tell you a secret. And I'll tell you a secret.
Paltiel, I got a phone.
I want to tell you a secret. I'll tell you a personal thing. Is I know that when I learn Chassidus, which takes time, I have more hours in my day than when I don't. And it has to be a lieber than after. I have to learn Chassidus each day, not to prepare a class, but to learn. Even if later I'm going to take that maimon and give a class, but it's a different kind of learning. So the question becomes, how do you miss a day, you idiot? You know what it does for you. And you experience it b'muchish mamish. Today I learned, one of the things I did, I did a lot of things today, but I learned a maimer. If I wouldn't learn a maimer, this Fabrengen would not be as good as it is. I'm not saying it's the best Fabrengen in the world, but it lifts me up. It lifts me up. So how could I miss a day? Teretz? I'm an idiot. Ruach shtus. So what's the issue? The issue is, you see, if you undertake a step of growth and you see it as rah, it's not sustained. It passes. But if you take and you just say, every day I'm going to do this. Over time it becomes a good habit. And when it becomes a good habit, you never could say it becomes easy, but it becomes part of the routine. And it's very realistic. It's very realistic to take on small steps of growth. One is absolute truth about growth is if you take on big things, it's a waste of time. It's not going to happen. But if you take on little things, realistic things, I'll give you a dumb example. You're a married man. If you make a achlata, that when you finish davening, you put on a bin hatam right away. Now there'll be occasions when it's impossible. But on most days, if you don't do it a bin hatam right away, it's because you have an excuse why you say I'll do it later, and then sometimes you forget. It's a simple thing. If you take that on, you just make it part of your routine, it becomes part of your routine. It's a simple thing. And the same is true every step of growth. I had a fabrengen last night. And it was a different crowd, it was a different fabrengen. But one of the things I talked about was the concept of little things. I gave them the mashal of two mayors in New York City, successive mayors. We had Mayor Dinkins and Mayor Giuliani. Mayor Dinkins ran, he was African American, and his constituency was black. It was African American. And the taina was that New York City was inundated with drugs, infested with drugs. And who were they punishing? The black kid on the street corner who's selling drugs for $5 a pop, who's going to get shot because he walked across the street in somebody else's territory. The white mafianer who's making millions, no one goes after. And he's right. He's really right. Because the mafia had a free reign in the New York. So he said, Dinkins said, I'm not going after the kid on the street, I'm going after the sources. During his mayoralship, you couldn't walk the streets of Brooklyn. It wasn't safe, of New York. Why? Because if you let people do small crimes, the bigger and bigger crimes. Giuliani was a whole different, he was an Italian, a different constituency. He created, and because Dinkins had come before him, he had a clear mandate. I'm going to go after quality of life crimes. You can get arrested for making noise. He went after the little things. New York became a safe city. Now what's the point? Dinkins wasn't wrong. You have to prosecute the people making the millions, not the kid on the street who's selling drugs $5. But you cannot build a community if the streets are not safe. And the point was, if you deal with the little things, you will not have to deal with the big things. This is true in chinuch, it's true in education, and it's true in rearing ourselves. We deal with cosmic stuff. You know, what's cosmic stuff? I don't know, fabrengen, people get up and dance until they see malachim. You know what you have to deal with? Negelwasser. Never to put a piece of candy in your mouth without making a shackle first. Tiny little sachen. Tiny little things. And you say, what's the big deal? Say, Mr. Bracha. And the answer is, you don't understand. If the kid gets used to making a bracha on a candy, he'll never forget to daven. And it's a cultural issue. It really is a cultural issue that America so much, it's just the way it is. It focuses so much on the emotional side of things that you always think from the macro to the micro, from the big to the small. And it's wrong. You can think from the macro to the micro in philosophy, but you have to think from the micro to the macro in ritual. You raise a little kid, teach him tiny in Yonim of Yiddishkeit. Because if that little kid, I'm just putting on my battery died, so I'm charging it. When you teach that child the little things, you will never have to teach him the big things. It's just the way it is.